connects now. It took us like 30 seconds to connect earlier, so we should have thought something was wrong. We had too much belief in the connection.
Oh yeah, looks a lot better.
Yeah, looks a lot better. Good. That's a better virtual Chashi, right? That's just a meta thing. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah, welcome back.
Cool.
Thanks for dealing with our connection issues. Yeah. That's just the universe challenging me to make a better. Yeah, there we go.
Everyone's saying it's good.
I look clearer now, says Mel. It must be my new skincare regime that I put in within the last 5 minutes, which includes touching my face.
There's
welcome.
He's
We're like,
okay.
there's something wrong if Jeremy's not here, right? Welcome back, Mel, Eric, Z Andy, Luca V28, Esther, Journey with a Cup, Allison, Tea and Swaps. Yeah, welcome. We just had to kind of clear our virtual tea table, which, is important. That's what we're talking about today, is setting the correct space up for tea sessions. Because today, for those of you who kind of had a good connection, you'll have to hear me talk about this again. Mostly me. We're going to be talking about Chashi. It's the theme of May 2018. I'm like 2 years back.
What year is it?
May 2020. What year is it?
What year is it?
May 2020's challenge, which is Chashi, here at Tihiria. So Chashi is Chaxi. It's a Chinese word that's talking about kind of like the setup of a tea table, and it's something that I got from my longtime kind of just tea mentor from afar. I don't think he considers me his student, but from afar, Stefan Erler from Tea Masters blog. His blog is all about, he just puts together the tea, but not only the tea, but the actors you need to create the tea session that you want and get the maximum amount of enjoyment and experience from the tea. And Chashi, it's not the easiest word to translate, but he translates it as a tea play or a tea stage. Kind of like a performance. Like if you are trying to create a play to express a message, you need actors, you need stagehands, you need props, you need music, you need the lights, you need etc. You need all the tools that you want and can help you bring out the best of the tea. And of course, at the middle of it, the message is the tea itself, right? And it's kind of artistic, it's kind of, maybe a little bit in the kind of flowy, esoteric world, but I think that's okay because tea is just a little bit like that, right? And by practicing Chashi, we're practicing how to not just make the tea look better, but also do what we can to practically enhance the qualities of the tea. Because the pots that you use, the colors that you put in the tea table, even the flowers, the arrangements, everything is going to factor in a little bit to what the tea is going to be like. There have been scientific studies where, depending on the music that's playing in a shopping mall, people will buy different things or they'll, record different levels of happiness. So even if, as tea people, we really want to focus on the tea and the qualities of the tea, right? We don't like it when other things get in the way, right? We want to focus on the qualities of the tea. It's impossible to separate the tea experience from what's going around, no matter how we want to be robots. I only focus on the tea. I am not affected by anything else. I am not affected by the towel that you put. But we're not like that. We are affected visually, by smell, by the things we hear, the people that we see, of what's going on the tea table, So, we almost have to, Eric, it is kind of like marketing. We have to market the tea to whoever is in front of us, not to sell the tea. Not to make money off of the tea, but the tea is so good. What can you do better to express what's in it? Whether it's by the teapot that you choose, the setting that you choose, if you have a 1960s pu'er that costs $25, I saw one of those on Stefan's website. Jesus, $25 a gram, right? Or something like that. $80 a gram. Are you going to put it in a mug, like a Starbucks mug? I have a Starbucks mug right there. You just put it in a mug and just chill out and watch Tiger King while doing it. You can if you'd like to. But I bet for that 1960s pu'er that you paid $80 a gram for, you're gonna call all your friends over. You know, you're gonna violate some social distancing. It's a 1960s pu'er, guys. Like, I'm sorry if you get sick, but it's a 1960s pu'er. You know, we'll all sit down. We'll all kind of like, you know, you call up all your friends and be like, hey, dude, I know you really like Chipotle. I know you always come to the tea session and you bring Chipotle, but this time, please don't bring Chipotle. Don't bring McDonald's. Don't bring Cheetos. Just this once. I'm asking you. Don't bring anything to the tea table because we're drinking this really special tea, right? It's the same concept. I mean, we're using extreme here. I don't have a 1960s pu'er. I don't have anything nearly that expensive, but the setting that we choose for the tea will inevitably change the way we experience it, right? So we'll talk about that. And that's what I'll challenge you guys to do over the next 15 days from now until May 16. 3 tea sessions, 3 tea chashis, 3 setups that you've designed in a way that brings out the most from the tea. And just think about it. You know, it doesn't have to be super aesthetic. It doesn't have to be Instagram worthy. It can be if you'd like to, but it's a practice, you know. So much has been done to the tea before it gets to us that just a couple minutes of preparation and kind of thought to surround it with something mindful is really not that much in the lifespan of the tea, you know. And I get it, like, we were kind of nervous about it. We're like, well, people might think that it's kind of like foo-foo to do this kind of challenge. They might think we want to put like flowers on the table and doilies and like, you know, the beautiful, because I think most of us grew up in a tea culture where it was more about like the teaware, like the cups, than the tea itself, you know, like, oh, I have grandma's porcelain teapot, but we are drinking Lipton. You know, we kind of want to get away from that. But in a way, we can also bring it back now to highlight the better tea that we have. So we'll talk about that today. Yeah? Yeah. Well, we'll post details on the challenge itself on Instagram. But basically, 3 tea sessions that you've designed, 3 chashi, from now until May 16. Yeah, 16. Saturday, May 16. Yeah, I don't think it's too hard. It's only 3, okay? It's only 3. So you can do that on your own tea table. You can do that outside if you'd like to. You can, yeah, as many as you'd like, but at least 3, okay? And I really hope that you guys can also share this on Discord or on Instagram, because I feel like this is something that, in particular, is a challenge that can be shared a lot with other people. It can really inspire people when they see a setup. Because maybe up until this point, they've only seen setups that they don't really like, that doesn't really speak to them. But maybe your session could be the one that inspires someone to do something, because it's a little bit different from what the typical is, you know? They might see that the way that you used a coaster, or the way you used your pot, or the way you used your cups speaks to them also, and they get some ideas, and then they'll start doing it. And that's what happened with me and Stefan at Tea Masters blog, you know? I don't think I would have gotten into Taiwanese oolong as deeply as I did, because he explains every single choice he makes when he sets up his tea table. And that's what we'll do today. That's why we're starting with the blank canvas. I had the other pot earlier on the bad connection stream. But yeah, pure white, nothing on the table. And this in itself is a chashi that I've designed. Okay? Steven asked me, do you want a runner on the table before we start? I'm like, no, I want it to be blank, okay? Because if you came to this tea session, I know it's virtual, but let's say you virtually walked into a room, right? And we virtually said hello, and our virtual hugs are very warm, don't worry. And they're very hygienic, because we don't gotta anyway. But I want you guys to walk in, and there's nothing. We just have a cup and our gaiwan. And I did this because if you walk into like a fully decked out, like I already have my coasters and my things and all my towel and my pot and my you know, all of my scoops already, you're like, whoa, what's going on here? What if I don't know how to do that yet? So we'll start with nothing, all right? And really, that's just the basis of the tea session, right? All you need is a pot and a cup. And what I'd like you to start with your chashi is you pick the tea that's correct for the tea session right now, okay? And it might kind of seem obvious, but put some thought into it. Like, what right now do I need at this very moment to effectively brew tea for myself, and especially when you're with other people, for other people. Kung Fu Tea says meditation before tea sessions is very useful. Absolutely. I don't always meditate for myself when I make a tea session for myself, but if I'm about to do a class, a workshop, I put it into my class outline. You know, I need to meditate for like at least 5 minutes before I go into the workshop, because I'm anxious, and if I'm anxious and there's like 30 people in the workshop, some of them who have flown into the city to go to the workshop, you know, I need to hold space. So that's part of it too. And then I need to choose a tea. And I'm going to choose a tea today that is not going to be a new tea, because I'm trying to talk to you guys, right? I have some teas on the table I'd like to try. Joe, you have some of your, you know, white teas that you've sent to us. I could pick one of those teas, but then I'm going to be busy trying to talk to you guys and do all this other stuff and then think about the new tea. So I'm going to pick a tea that I've had before that makes me feel pretty comfortable and relaxed. And yeah, it's not going to be too bad. Alright, so I've preheated my gaiwan, and I'm doing this green tea. And then now we have to make a choice. I have to make a choice. Do I want to put this green tea in a scoop or a presentation vessel of some kind, or do I want to just put it in the gaiwan? Okay? So if it's just you and me, right? Let's say just two of us. Let's say you and Gabby, me and Gabby are just the two of us. If I put this here, I take the scoop out. The scoop is called a chaha, right? And I put the leaves on the scoop, okay? Use a tool. Okay, put the leaves in the scoop. And then I give it to Gabby. Here you go, Gabby, okay? Take a look at them, right? And she has the design over there. And then she looks at it like, wow, how nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it to the gaiwan. Okay? And then it's over. The scoop is done on the side. I almost feel like it was too much, right? Like it's just you and me, and we're having like a casual tea session, right? Like, and it's not like, I'm trying to keep it casual. Like, why did I put out the scoop, put the tea in, give it to Gabby, only one person has it, when I can just put the leaves in my gaiwan, show it to Gabby, here you go. You can see the leaves, right? I mean, it's white, it's beautiful. I'm not afraid of her dropping my gaiwan. That's another thing too. If you're with people who are not used to holding gaiwans, I'm not going to pass the gaiwan to them, but I can hand it to her. I'll probably trust her to do it. You know, look at the leaves, and then I'll put it back, and then we're ready, right? We save a little bit of time, a little bit of cleanup for the scoop, because I'm kind of trying to keep it casual. That's a choice you have to make there. Do you put out a scoop when you're trying to show the leaves off? Now, what if it's not just Gabby? What if it's Gabby and Sonia and Joe and Borkakoti, who just popped in, and Elver Dadarote, who just popped in too, and Danae and Eric and Joshua? That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. Gaiwan that you really like, okay? Now, your chances of someone dropping the gaiwan, no matter how good they are at handling gaiwans, is like times 10, right? Times 10 chance of them dropping the gaiwan. Now, I'm going to think more to use a scoop, because if someone drops the scoop, it's not going to be the end of the world. If someone drops the gaiwan, you know, not only will you feel bad, they'll feel bad, you know, like that's going to be a memory for them forever if they drop the gaiwan, etc. And I get it. These are really small adjustments, but as always, we're always trying to capture that extra 1%, 2%, 3% improvement, so that when it builds up, your tea session will be like 100%, 200% better at the end of it, right? So just things to think about. You can certainly use the scoop if you'd like to, if you're feeling like really like, I really want to like honor this tea. I want to make it more ceremonial, you know. But for right now, no, I probably went just for one person. But for like a lot of people, yeah, totally. And then we're here with like our empty stage, right? For those of you popping in, we're talking about chashi, tea design. How do you create your tea table space in a way that might highlight the tea more? So we have our plain gaiwan and our cup, and this is great if you're just trying to focus on the tea. You'll notice that I do this setup a lot when I'm trying to do blind tasting because I don't want extra stuff in my periphery trying to distract me. But if you're serving tea for someone else and trying to make them feel like you thought about it a little bit, or it's a special tea and you kind of want to celebrate it a little bit, you might want to put something on the table that kind of acts as a stage for you, like a platform for you to put your tea on. And when you do that, your tea's your main message, right? But your teapot, whatever it is, consider that your headquarters, okay? This is your HQ. You should always be here. Even if you're going to be, moving over there to pour for people, moving over here, getting water, going to the bathroom, whatever. Your teapot is your headquarters when you're serving tea for yourself, but also especially when there's other people, right? So design your cha shi, your tea design, your tea table around your headquarters. Make it easy for you to access this thing, all right? So what I like to start with is some kind of like mat to put this on. And there's a lot of moving parts. So usually I'd use this. This is a ceramic tea tray, of which a kind we are giving away for the Chashi Challenge. So I'll cover more of that later. But with everything going on, I know I'm gonna be moving in and out with a lot of like moving parts today. I'm worried that if I drop something, it might shatter. So I'm gonna choose not to use this today. I'm going to choose to use, let's use something wooden. Okay. A lot of moving parts for today's live. So I'm gonna use a wooden board, just so it's a little simple. I can kind of move it in and out. But it kind of like lifts the space now. Now it seems like you're doing something serious, right? Like you're actually focusing on the tea, you're setting up something. Just this addition of the wooden board, I mean, the bottom is wood already, right? Like, why put the wooden board there? But look at the difference visually, having this board here with a gaiwan versus not having a board here. Okay, where do you start with? It's kind of like a naked space and nothing's happening. The moment you put just one tool in, you suddenly change the atmosphere, the intention of the tea session, okay? And for those of you like, it's just one thing. So much goes into the way that tea is set up, like at a Japanese tea ceremony, when you go to have dinner at a restaurant. These tiny details are meant to highlight the tea, okay? Remember, we're going to go back to the tea. But small movements, small adjustments, okay? Board. Next thing. Let's say I want to have not just one person, right? It's just for me. It's kind of it's like a selfish tea session, okay? It's just for one person, or for me and Steven, you know what I mean? I would like to include you guys. Remember I talked about multiple people? I only have 2 of these. If I want to serve 3 people, I just don't have the same cups. And also this gaiwan is small, so I can't fill up the cups all the way. We want to choose cups that will, number 1, match the number of people we want to serve. Number 2, be a good fit for the gaiwan that we're using or the fairness cup that we're using, okay? So, let's say we have 5 people. All right. And I'm going to choose our tasting cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So now we have a group setting, okay? Where are you going to put yours as well? So you have your own cup, right? If I put my cup over here and I serve myself with a chahai separate from you guys, let's say this is the 4 of you who are with me, right? And I have my cup separate from here. Think about what it's going to look like when I make the tea. Actually, we're just going to do it, okay? Serve the tea. Where am I going to put the fairness pitcher? Probably, yeah, over here. Thinking about it. Yeah, over here. I don't want to put it on the same platform as the gaiwan because this is kind of slidey. And then I'm putting the fairness pitcher mindfully to the side of me because I'm right-handed, so that when I pour, I don't have to like go over here. It's kind of like weird because I'm going to be tilting to the side. it looks more natural for me to just shift to the side where my dominant hand is. All right. And then without any unnecessary movement, I already positioned my handle facing where I need to have it. So that if it's facing this way, I would have to go. And then now my choice to put my cup here beside me. Because habitually, right, you have your personal cup. I'm sure you guys have personal cups. For me first, and then you guys. Right? What does that, just even if they're not paying attention, okay, even if the people who are with you are not paying attention, what does that kind of communicate, right? It means that I'm pouring for myself first, and then I'm gonna pour for you guys. And you guys are over there, and I'm over here. It's like, I almost get the kind of like I'm tea master kind of vibe from that. But there is another interpretation, which is that in some tea ceremony practices, people will want to taste the tea before they serve to you because they want to make sure that you guys are doing, the tea tastes well before they serve it to you. But in having the cup kind of like positioned away from other people, I like to include everyone when I'm doing a tea session, so I'll always put my cup beside other folks if we're in a small enough space. Of course, if it's like other people, like far away, I get it if you have your cup here. But usually when I have 5 people, it's a pretty personalized space for us. So I'll usually put my cups side by side with them so that when you pour, everyone kind of gets their cup at the same time. All right? And then I take my cup back. All right? Now, what you'd like to do for yourself is really up to what you would like to design your tea session to be. All right? Teapot Rescue Society said that's you. If that's what suits your tea practice the best, you should do what you want to do. You know, if it makes you feel more comfortable to drink the tea first, I would put your cup here so you can taste it really quick. Because if it's over here and you pour for everyone else, you know, and you're like, wait, guys, hold on, let me make sure it's okay. Okay, now you guys can drink. It's a little awkward if you're together with everyone else and then everyone else's tea is poured and then you taste it. Small adjustments, but again, you're trying to heighten the experience of the tea. And as tea people, I mean, because tea is so subtle, the smallest of adjustments can make a big difference in how the session will be like. And we're just with our white cups, you know, we haven't done anything in terms of the design yet. All we've done is put just a wooden block, right? So yeah, think about it a little bit while I say hello to our friends. August, welcome. Shiloh, welcome. Claudia from Tea Epiphany. Jenny Shen, yeah. Arfong T, welcome. Dina Lencioni, Vanny Les, Yunwisk, welcome. Sorry if I didn't get you guys. I was like, yeah, we just gotta. I usually teach these in like an actual physical setting. I feel like Chashi is a little bit difficult to express on a virtual level, but I'm trying my best to kind of pretend you guys are here with us in the room. With 16 of us, that's a lot of people in the room, but that's okay. But does that kind of make sense? Even these small adjustments in where you put your tools on the table will inevitably make a difference in how the tea session will flow. And you want to set yourself up for success. So if you don't feel comfortable with the way the tea session is going on, you're not going to pour correctly, you know? Another thing is, when you set up where your pot's going to be, I like to just put my pot in one place that I've decided during the entirety of the session. It doesn't move here, it doesn't move here, because if it's moving around, the more likely it is to get knocked over, right? You don't know where it is. So if you reach for something and it's moved, you might knock it over with like your sleeve or something like that. Or you reach over and you forgot that it's there because you put it there for some reason, you might knock it over. So that's a practical thing too. And then when you're trying to pour for people, when you're moving around with your chahai, you're going to want to not try to block people with your elbow when you're trying to do that. I wore my highlighted elbow cardigan today to try to highlight that. If you're pouring 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's more over here, going here, you're going to start elbowing people and showing the back of your arm to other people. And it's just not as just hospitable looking. If you can, try to design your teapot so that's in the middle and you have an equal amount of cups. 1, 2. You can turn it over. 3, 4. Or 1, 2. 3, 4. Or just do it in such a way that's not like with your elbow up, just depending on like your posture. You can do that too. Just make sure that, I don't know, it's just good to have like a line of sight to your teapot. Which means that whoever is sitting at the tea table doesn't have a blocked line of sight of what's going on in the kind of the session, if that makes sense. Yeah? Yeah? Getting somewhere? There's so many little things that we can talk about with Chashi, so I'm just introducing a couple of concepts to you guys to kind of think about. I know some of you already do tea design at home, Chashi, set up your tea table in some way, but I'm just trying to show that not only is it an aesthetic thing, something that looks good on Instagram when you take a picture of it, it's also a practical thing. I'm pretty proud of myself for not really breaking a lot of teaware. As much as I use teaware, I really don't break things very much. And partially, I mean, I'm not a particularly clumsy person, but I try to set myself up in such a way that I don't knock things over. And I have long hair, I've got like my little like sleeves and stuff. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm setting myself up with systems in my tea setup that minimize the possibility of that happening, you know? It's not a coincidence. But yeah, so we got our cups, all right? Now, we got our cups. What can we do to try to make them kind of lift up? So we have our table, right? Our stage. Looks kind of naked though, you know? Can we do something to kind of unify the table? Because right now we have like our naked cups, and then I'm seeing the cups are kind of like putting like moist rings on the table. We can use a cloth if you'd like. Steven just put it up. My cloth's all wrinkly from us folding it. Let's not use that cloth. Let's use this one. Because Eric said light blue would look good. Alright. So naked tea table with just your stand, right? It looks pretty good. I'm not saying that you need to stop or go forward from here, but we're just looking at the, possibilities here. Alright? So, naked. It's not, I feel like it's okay. It's very clean looking. So if you want to have that kind of clean aesthetic, you can kind of keep it like this. But I want to have like a unified like area that we're sharing tea in. So I'm going to put just a cloth underneath, which does two things. Number one, it makes cleanup better, so you're not leaving those moist rings underneath your teacups, right? And then also, number two, it's pretty hot here in Vegas, all right? If I chose a really brightly colored, see, I don't even have any brightly colored. I don't have any brightly colored tea cloths because I don't like using brightly colored tea cloths here in Vegas. Yeah, let's say something like this. This bright color here. When it's 100 degrees outside, that's like 38 degrees Celsius, 39 degrees Celsius, you don't want this bright color because you already feel hot. Okay, we're talking about now color psychology. Blue is like the ocean. It's cooling. It's like ice. Blue makes us feel like our temperature is lowering, so I'm going to choose blue, all right? And now it just unifies the tea table a little bit, okay? And then I chose blue also because it does well with the light wood. And then now we're kind of like starting to build the tea space here, right? Just think about how it looked like without anything, all right? Just this kind of like plain background, which is fine too. But you're changing the feeling of it. I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but you're doing small adjustments to the tea session in order for you to present a different feeling, express something different, okay? And also, I've chosen these light-colored cups because it's green tea. We're brewing a green tea here. And if I was using a darker set of cups, like let's say some of these, would the green tea look as good and as green tea like in these cups than they do in the lighter colored cups? Just for someone who's having green tea for the first time, you can't really see the color, right? And even if this cup might be better tasting than the white cups, you have to make a choice. Would I rather sacrifice the visual impact of the tea for how good it tastes? Or will seeing the color of the green tea in the cup actually heighten the experience more than what I've tested in my experiments side by side? I know this cup tastes better, even if you can't see it. We look visually with our eyes, right? If it's a green tea by design is meant to highlight the freshness of the tea, the kind of vibrant springtimey feeling of the tea. I feel like, just personally for myself, green tea is one of those teas you really have to choose a cup that highlights the color of the tea. Yeah. If you don't care about that, then don't do it. But for me, I'll always pick a lighter colored cup, even if I know the cup doesn't perform as well because of the visual impact. Okay. And then you can kind of heighten it up a little bit more. Use coasters if you like. By the way, this entire tea setup right now this is from IKEA. It's like $5. This runner is from IKEA. It's like $3. And then these are from my Japanese store down the road. These are like, they're fraying at the edges. See, they're like really old. These are like $1.50 each. So already just the stuff I've added to the table, not including the Gaiwan. The Gaiwan's the most expensive thing here. Just from what I've added, it's less than $10. So I'm not trying to say go out and buy expensive stuff, okay? Just with $10 extra of accessories on the table, you're kind of like starting to make a space, all right? Now, do I do this for me and Steven all the time? No. No, usually this is where I have my laptop right here, actually, when we're not doing our lives. I have our laptop here. We're usually bowl brewing, so we have our bowl that we pass back and forth between us, and that's it. It's a tea bowl, not that kind of bowl. Steven's like, that's not even funny, Ree, because I don't even, but anyway. But usually we have our laptop here, so we don't always set up a tea table like this. But when we're trying to express something or create a space, we certainly do set up a table. When was the last time we did a chashi, like a full-blown chashi? Yesterday, actually, for the Manual Handmade show. I think Steven was trying to make me feel better. I was feeling sick yesterday, so he put some cozy towels and stuff, really low-key, easy to clean up. And then when we brew our Mother Bush dansongs, our really expensive, really, really nice dansongs, we kind of deck it out too. Those are teas that are so good, one sip at a time, so you're going to be there for a couple hours, right? Typically, if you're doing a really fast and easy tea session, let's say you're at your computer and you're just trying to make some tea before you hop into a Zoom meeting, do you usually want to put up your chashi? You could put a simple one up, right? Just a towel with a gaiwan. Maybe this setup here, actually. This is what I'd probably take with me if I want to have a work session. You can take it up with you. It's a small enough tray that you can kind of transport it. This by itself, the gaiwan or the solo cup, this is chashi as well. For those of you who are like, oh my god, that's getting too fancy. An easy to carry tray with a pot that's perfectly sized for the cup that you want to use because you want to drink alone is also a design choice. All right? It just depends on the context, what you want to do to highlight the tea, what you want to do to make yourself happy, what's practical, what looks good, what's easy to clean up afterwards in proportion to how much time you're making for the tea, So yeah, it's a really open-ended challenge, and I hope that you guys can kind of go with it, what I'm really interested to see in this challenge is how people play their chashi. Because I've been highly influenced by Stefan from Tea Master's blog. If you haven't gone to Tea Master's blog, you really need to. You really need to, okay? Because he just talks about both the aesthetics of the session, but also how the cups change, and he'll actually do side-by-sides of how, one teacup change will change the effect of the entire space, I've been influenced by Lion, who was the person who inspired the Chashi Challenge. He has a whole tea room that he changes the colors of the lights based on the season. Like right now he has pink, white, and green lights in his room to kind of make it feel like springtime, which is insane. He's just crazy, you know. But it could be something as simple as just, you know, go outside and go find something that fits your tea table. Like for us, we've had this guy for a significantly long time. If you guys were following us during the 40-day challenge, I think this guy popped up on like day 15, and we've had him since. Okay, because we're in Vegas, we can collect flowers as well. So we actually pick plants that last a long time in a small tea vase so that we can just easily use it. Because you're going like 40 days, you know? How much mileage have we gotten from this little leaf, Steven? It's like days and days and days of just kind of brightening up the tea table, adding a little splash of color,
like 6 weeks.
Yeah, like a long time. But we can also put roses in, right? But a rose on the tea table is like this big thing. It's got a face. Like roses have faces, right? So it's just like, it's gonna be right here. I personally don't use roses a lot in my tea sessions because they're very kind of just obtrusive, and they also have a smell. Okay? If you want to put them on your tea table, then go do it. Don't tell me what, you know, don't let me tell you what you want to do. It just depends on the person and what you want to express and what your techniques are, what your background is even, you know? That's another thing that I've learned from hanging around a lot of like nice ceramics recently. And I think August, if you're still here, and Shiloh too, you guys have talked a lot about how you will tend to have mismatching ceramics on the table. So right now this is a very matchy tea session, right? Blue, and then like the matching coasters with the IKEA board, green. It's very kind of like harmonious and matching. And for a long time I preferred this kind of like everything has to kind of like coordinate like an 80s outfit, you know? My socks are pink and my hat's pink and my belt's pink and then my shirt's white and my shoes are white, you know? It looks pretty nice, right? But let's say you're into handmade ceramics because you're a ceramicist, right? Why not have, you know, this cup from your friend in the Pacific Northwest, and then this cup from Tanikawa Gin that matches the cup that's been custom made for me, and, oh my gosh, do we have any more? Yeah, let's see. This antique Celadon cup that I got from a garage sale like 8 or 9 years ago, you know? And aesthetically, this is a very different setting now, right? Can you give me a handmade pot, Steven? Please. You know, I'm doing away with like the porcelain teaware and dealing with a set of handmade ceramics. This is a very different looking session now, right? Let's say we put in the scoop from Mihai Tea Scoops. These are all handmade things. They look very different. They're not as matchy. They have a different feel to them. But while I think just visually someone might come and be like, oh, why are they all mismatching? That's kind of weird. That's what I felt for a long time when I saw these kinds of setups. Now you have the ability to tell a story on your tea table as you're pouring tea. Oh, this pot I got from my teacher, and you know, she works really closely with a ceramicist who drinks her tea too. It's really, really great. Oh, and this cup, I remember getting this from a garage sale like 10 years ago, and the man was really happy to get his really precious ceramics out to someone who, you know, really liked tea. And I remember him chasing me down the road when we were leaving because I forgot one of the cups, and he was like, wait, here, one more, take it. And he used to travel the world a lot, but then his wife left him, and he didn't want to have the ceramics anymore because his wife really loved tea. So he was sitting around looking at the ceramics all day, but now he was happy. It's a story. Oh, and this cup was by Tanikawa Gin. He's a Japanese ceramicist. I was able to get a custom-made teapot from him. Wow, look at the maker's mark. How wonderful. Wow. It's his signature, and this is a different kind of material, and it's Tokonami clay with a reduction firing, and look at the seaweed marks that he's put on, you know? And then this is by, I forgot his last name, George Gladwell, I think. In the Pacific Northwest, it's an American ceramicist. Isn't that cool that America has ceramics artists who studied in Japan? And this reminds me of like a mountain covered in snow, which is actually why I like this pot a lot. Yeah, and it does really well with dark tea and green tea, etc. And then this is from Yai Tea Scoops, and on the way back from Yosemite, Steven kept refreshing Instagram because he wanted to make sure that Sven got his message, because he really wanted it, etc. So we're trading now the matchiness for the ability to tell a story about the cups, you know? So a little bit different. So that's up to you and what your choices are, yeah? Let's see. August says, we mix and match wares, utensils, materials we've collected from travels. Tea is narrative. Yeah, it's super narrative. So while I really love my HSC Hyunsong ceramic Korean cups, these are like dollar cups from the Asian store. They help kind of just make sure that everyone has the same tea experience. So not to rag on these cups, if you want everyone at the tea table to have the exact same experience as you and everyone else, I would opt for these cups because they're the same material, they're the same shape, size, kind of like feel. The downside of using, you know, handmade ceramics that aren't matching is that the person drinking from this cup and the person drinking from this cup and the person drinking from this cup will have different experiences. So one person might say, oh my god, the umami on this is just amazing, and the other two are like waiting for it to happen, or, you know, or like, wow, the aroma is really wonderful, it reminds me of wildflowers, because the cup is like, you know, different cups will affect the tea, as we've studied together. The aroma is amazing, it just reminds me of growing up and, you know, the meadows and etc. And the other two have cups that don't highlight the aroma, so they're like, oh, that's weird. So there are pros and cons, and I'm not saying one is better than the other. It just depends on what you want to achieve. So if you come to one of my tea workshops, I insist on people using these if we're doing side-by-sides. Especially here in Vegas, people bring their personal cups. Like, everyone has a really special, often very beautiful personal cup that they like to use. And if we're not doing a side-by-side, I definitely love having all the stories on the table. But if we're doing a cultivar side-by-side, I will not let you use your personal cup, because you're going to miss out on some, you know, nuanced flavor notes that if you try to compare the person side-by-side with you, because you have different cups, it's not going to be the same experience. So, you know, some questions. Are you trying to make a tea session that's comparative? Do you have all your tea nerd friends together and you've got this shipment from, I don't know, Floating Leaves, and they have a Shanlin Shi versus an Alishan versus a Lishan, that blind tasting sampler they did? If you're doing the blind tasting sampler with a couple of your friends, you want to kind of tone it down, use cups that are matching, right? Keep it simple, maybe use white teaware that helps you kind of evaluate the color of the tea. The Gaiwan is a very humble piece of equipment, but it allows you to look at the color of the leaves, play with them a little bit. I'm willing to pass it along a little bit more than like a really expensive handmade pot. You know, you're gonna dig into it, you gotta stick your fingers in, it's kind of more difficult to clean out the leaves and like look at them because it's dark on the inside. So maybe choose white porcelain if you're doing side-by-sides. Now, if you're trying to do let's say you haven't seen someone in a long time, like Lisa and August. I'm sure Lisa's there, right? Is that safe to assume, August? Like, Lisa's just beside you? I haven't seen you guys in a long time, but I have a lot of stories, kind of like mutual, just stories that we're not there at the same time, but we have a lot of like mutual things to share with each other. We both love ceramics, we both love Taiwan, we both love food and life and stuff. And knowing August is a ceramicist, I'm not going to bring out my dinky little like Korean like ceramics cups. He's going to get bored. We're all going to get bored because we really like ceramics. You know, same with Jeremy, who's saying, you know, do you have a Quebec cup? I don't have a Quebec cup. I should. If I'm with people who just really love ceramics and we've been waiting to have tea together for a long time, we have a lot of stories to share with each other. These kind of like handmade, rustic, even mismatching in a beautiful way ceramics kind of make the session more free-flowing. People are willing to tell more stories and talk about stuff, and yeah, just it's a little different feeling, you know. So yeah, Let's see what I missed out on. So Jeremy, yes, I don't have a Quebec teacup yet. He's just showing off now. And Shiloh says that's Potter talk. What specifically is Potter talk? Yeah. August says when we run tea tastings, we invite our sitters to choose their cup. Each one different, but time tested. See, that's beautiful. I really like that. Let's see. Jody says, thank you for sharing all this. I'll put away this mug I'm using for tea. If you want to use a mug, that's fine too. There's actually a Starbucks cup that's sitting on the table right there that tastes, it just makes tea taste good. I don't know why Starbucks has a mug that tastes good, but I have a lot of mugs. And the Starbucks mug specifically tastes the best. So if I'm trying to bowl brew tea, but I don't want to hold a bowl, I want a bowl with a mug, with a mug handle, I'll use my Starbucks mug. That's Chashi too. But maybe, Joni, if you want to use a mug, you can put like a beautiful like towel underneath, you know. I know some of you have like reclaimed kimono silk material, or maybe something that your friend gifted to you. Let's see if I can find Nicole's. Yeah. These towels were given to me by my best friend who, you know, knows nothing about tea, but she pops in now and then to our lives. And she knows that I like using tea towels, so she got these for me for my birthday. She got these made for me. And now they're like my favorite thing when I have like a matcha workshop. I like having them because not only do they look nice, they're also something that my friend gave to me, you know, stuff like that. And it doesn't have to be costly. So when you guys are going into this challenge, I don't want you guys to go on to, I don't know, Jeremy, I'll single you out, Julie Lava's Etsy page and buy 6 new cups because Ree says the Chashi challenge is happening right now. You don't have to buy new things. If you'd like to, go ahead. But the stuff that you have around you, I think is going to be more than enough for you guys to create a tea session like this. And Delphine, we spent 40 minutes saying that a coaster is Chashi. That's a joke from this morning. Delphine was like, is putting a coaster underneath a teacup Chashi? There's really no limit. It could be as simple or as elaborate as you like, for sure. Teapot Rescue Society, who was that again? Jeremy? That's TJ9. I think if that's what you're talking about. Clara says, as a pizza employee, I'm obligated to condemn your Starbucks cup. That's fine. It tastes good. You would like it too if you drank out of it. Joni says, I'm inspired to consider new and different teaware now. Yeah, I hope that this is an excuse for all of us to dig out some of the teaware that we own but don't use as much. Even for me and Steven, we use our teaware a lot because we know we do these lives, we do our workshops, we drink a lot of tea, you know, we do a lot of experiments. But even then, there are a couple teapots we don't really use that much. Right, Steven? Like this one. And this cup. I actually don't use this cup very much. I got it as a matching piece with, again, my custom-made pot. But I maybe used this cup like 10 times total in its lifetime, which is a problem. You know, it's a beautiful cup. What my issue is that I got it for this cup, but I only have one. So Steven, how do I reconcile that? I got this cup because it matched my pot, but the pot is too big to empty completely into this cup. Like if I just pour all the way, it's not going to contain all the tea. So now if I'm using this cup and this pot, I'm going to be the only one with a matching cup with a pot, so it feels kind of like only I have the matching cup. All of you have to use the other cups, but this is my special cup. But is that okay? I mean, I guess it's okay, right? It's not a big deal. You know? Yeah, it's up to you guys. Any ideas? I hope you guys are thinking about some stuff. Think about the pots you don't use very much, the cups you don't use very much. I have lots of those. Yeah, like these guys. You might have not seen these guys in a long time. I used to use these cups a lot. These are blue cups, painted porcelain cups. They're really beautiful for spring though, but I don't like using them for winter because they're very thin. You can kind of see the light going through it. They're really beautiful, translucent. They taste really good with tea, but during the winter, they lose heat very quickly. So I haven't used them since like November, October actively. But now that it's getting hot outside, we're drinking some more green tea. Green tea is going to look really beautiful with these cups, you know, thin porcelain cups. Think about the season. This is very important with chashi that we haven't even talked about yet. If where it is where you are is still cold and snowy and, you know, you're in Canada, it's still kind of cold there, right guys? So you might not want to shift yet into your spring, you know, summer teacups, but maybe there's a transitional cup that's both, you know, thick enough to hold the heat for you. It's very cozy during the winter time, but maybe helps you think about spring coming. You know, it's a very specific aesthetic, I know, but like this cup is so dark here. It's like a winter cup. I don't like drinking out of this cup in the summer. It's like charcoaly, it's dark, you know, it makes me feel hot, but during the deep of winter, this is a very cozy cup to have. When I hold it, it kind of warms my hands and stuff. Which might be a good thing if it's cold where you are. But for us in Vegas, me and Steven, we're going to be picking cups that are very light to hold because, again, it's super hot outside. We have to pick cups that suit our needs at that moment. For just me and Steven, we're talking as if we're going to be serving tea in a group, and chashi can be used for group settings as well. But even if you're alone at home, what pot, cup, setting, pitcher, cloth, anything is going to help you get the best experience for the tea while not sacrificing the flavor. Yeah? Yeah. Delphine says, this challenge is a very good timing for me. I want to use more of my teaware. Good opportunity. Yeah, it's a good excuse for sure. Claire says a big Gong Dao Bei. Yeah. I have a matching set for spring coming in that might not get here until summer. Oh no. Well, hopefully. What else? Yeah, and then if you don't have a lot of cups either, you know, don't think that you need a lot of teaware to do this challenge. Steven and I have a problem, so we have a lot of teaware. But trust me, I was doing this for a long time before I even had a lot of cups, so I'm kind of used to using what I have on hand already. If you have an IKEA, by the way, go to IKEA and get one of these. These are their $3 placemats. I have fancy handmade placemats for tea from Taiwan, but they don't work as conveniently as these ones from IKEA. So, and they come in different colors. If you change just the color of the bottom of your tea setup, let's say I have this blue, right? Now let's go on to the pink that Steven wanted me to use at the very beginning. Just visually remember the blue, and I'm going to use this pink. Wow, it's really different. All right, that's a really different tea setup now that we have. Okay, it's very springtimey. I actually like it, but there's kind of like a lot going on because there's all the little flowers, but that's okay. Yeah, which one do you like better? Do you like the pink that I put down, or do you like the blue that I put down? Okay, same tea, same teaware, same person. Okay, same wood material. And then if we switch out the pink, I'm going to switch it out one more time for those of you who are allergic to pink. Do we even have a small black one, Steven? I don't think we do.
Do you want to put the pot down?
No, we're good. Steven doesn't have trust in me. I'm making Steven's face red. He's this really lovely red color right now. That's my boyfriend Chashi, making him turn pink. Okay, you're turning pink now. It's good. All right, there you go. Different. Steven hates me. Steven, I've never broken anything of substance. So this different, like very, very dark blue-black kind of color makes it a little bit more, you know, low-key. I made Jeremy stressful too. You guys don't have enough trust in me. I know exactly how to lean towards my teaware and at the same time make you guys nervous. That was totally worth it for making Steven nervous anyway. He's gonna be so upset. Alright. And anyway, if I break something, Steven can fix it. That's my one more color change. Actually, this is not a good choice because the table's already kind of like this peachy wooden color. This is another. These are all IKEA mats, by the way. All of these are IKEA mats. So actually, it doesn't look too bad here. But with the, you guys don't see it off the edge, but this is gold, and then the table is off gold, so it just kind of looks a little bit odd. But yeah, not too bad. So depends on you and what you'd like to do. August says, blue makes the blush in the teapot more pronounced and delicious. Yes! Thank you, August. It's another thing. There's just so many things you can think about. We'll go over all these details over the course of our challenge together. Okay, remember, this is the challenge. 3 chashi until May 16. Okay? This one being like a warmer, kind of like pale color, maybe like lifts up the space a little bit. But there are these dark, yes, kind of like more bluish spots in the teapot. August knows this because he wood fires ceramics, you know, that depending on the shift in the color will bring out, you know, different colors in the teapot. Where's the blue? I want to make Steven nervous again. I'm just going to put it on top. See, this is why I didn't... Remember with all the stuff that I've been lifting? I wanted to use this at the very beginning of the tea session. That's why I picked the wooden tray. Because I know I'll be doing all this switching around. Now that would make me nervous. So, the blue... Yeah, and it suddenly makes the pot look a little bit different. The darker kind of like bluish hue that comes out on the side of the pot is brought out. And you can use the color of your mat to bring out different colors in your teaware too. Yeah, so many different combinations. Claudia says still like the blue the best. Albert Daddy wrote I would put the light brown above the blue one. Yeah, you could do that too. We actually have these really, really long ones that we use to stack. Steven's like, we're gonna have to like roll all of these up. So if you have a really, really long one, this is a $7 runner from IKEA, by the way. So again, these are not fancy materials. You can stack the blue with the gray or the light brown if you have a longer kind of tea table to set it up. Or you can put the blue down and then put another cloth underneath. That makes it different too. I don't like the combination. It's kind of awkward. But it's up to you. And then, you know, think about what kinds of flowers you'd like to put on the table. If you'd like to put your tea pets on, do that too. You know? I know a couple of you have tea pets. Which one do I want? This one. And tea pets, you know, I don't use them a lot in my tea sessions, but I like to use them when I'm teaching for a new class. It breaks the ice a little bit for people who've never done a tea session before. They're like, wow, I don't know what anything is, but that thing's cute. So teapots are very friendly. Yeah, they kind of make the session more playful. Dude, there's just so much to do. 1 hour is not even enough to talk about all the opportunities and options we might have with a tea session. But yeah, the challenge is to do 3 of these of any kind from now until May 16. Post them on Instagram, use hashtag Chashi Challenge. If you can, post them on Discord so we can talk about them in like kind of like a group setting. But whatever, you know, platform is the best for you to do this, please do so. And also talk about what your thought process was in creating your tea session, because I have a very, you know, I'm inspired by whoever's in front of me, almost like musical influences, right? Sometimes you know, it might take just looking at someone else's chashi to inspire someone to do something of their own with maybe a piece of teaware they can figure out how to use, or a piece of accessory that they're like, oh, I'm never going to be able to use this. What do I use this knickknack for? That might find more life again at the tea table. Lots of different things. Well, we'll talk about the details on an Instagram post if you need some more of the details, like the duration of the challenge, what the hashtag is going to be. But yeah, I hope you guys had some ideas from this tea session. If you have any questions, let me know. We're going to be doing another live on Wednesday. to talk more about chashi, we're probably going to do a cup comparison on that date to see how the color of the tea comes out in the cup along with the performance. So many things to talk about. But thank you for joining us. If you have any questions about chashi, let me know. We'll post resources up on the Discord, also on Instagram. Hope you guys had fun. Made you a little bit nervous, made you a little happy. Yeah, have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.